This is arguably of my safety thoughts, presenting a video on learning scaffold safety for safety officers the professional way. This video is exclusively for training purposes. This forms part of a series of videos on occupational safety, health and environment. This is part 3 terminology. Scaffold terminology. We have sold boards for most of the scaffolds, but sold boards are not essential everywhere. However, base plates are required on all fixed scaffolds. We will start with base plates. Over base plate comes standards. Standards are also called by the name post. It is positioned vertically and plumb. Then comes ledger, connecting two standards on either side of a scaffold. Ledgers are fixed horizontally. Just because it runs through the entire length of a scaffold, it is also called a runner. Ledgers are always connected to the standards, and for this purpose we use only double couplers. Ledgers are fixed behind the post. Thus, ledgers come inside of the scaffold as seen in the picture. Next comes transoms. Transoms are also called board bearers. In short, we call it by the name bearer. Bearers are provided across the scaffold for entire length of it at regular intervals. At times, a ledger and bearer will be of same length. In such cases, the tube at the bottom is ledger and the one at the top is bearer. Transoms are connected either to the standards or ledgers. Here also we use double couplers only. A minimum of 2 transoms are required for a simple scaffold. The only tube that is attached to a scaffold at an angle is bracing. Bracing gives stability to the scaffold. For fixing bracing, we use swivel couplers. Bracing is required all around the scaffold. A bracing can be fixed at an angle of say 35 to 55 degrees. The most recommended bracing angle is 45 degrees, and wherever possible we try to adhere to that principle. A minimum of 4 base plates and 4 standards are required to make a simple scaffold. To start with, we fix the base plates and the standards. Then, across that, we provide a pair of both ledgers and transoms. Here we use only double couplers. Remember that. Thereafter, bracing are provided all around. This forms a lift, but it is not the first lift. This is in fact called the base lift or kicker lift. The same type of a frame, square or rectangular one, fixed on its top at a height of maximum 2 meters. It can be lesser than that. That will form the first lift. You can make any number of lifts, but platform lift will have boards or planks laid according to the requirement. Intermediate lifts may or may not be having platform planks or boards. Hence, in intermediate lifts, sometimes guardrails may not be required at all. A minimum of 3 boards are always provided in the platform for safety. Then again, there should not be any gap between the planks as far as possible. If there is a gap, it must be limited to less than 1 inch. For safe working platforms, we require guardrails all around, it is told. Guardrails forms mid rail and top rail. It is in 2 parts. Again, toe boards are provided all around on the platforms. The height required for the top rail is, that is from the platform, 95 to 115 centimeters. Toe board's height can be 10 centimeters or even more. Now, with all the guardrails, with the toe boards, a platform is ready. It is safe in every respect. But there's a question now. How a person will enter the platform? We have to find a remedy for that one. There is a solution, of course. You reduce the length of guardrails on one side, provide an upright. It is called false upright. It will be having a maximum gap of 675 centimeters. That means the gap between the false upright and the nearest post is 675 centimeters to suit our purpose of entry and exit. Now, how the platform is made safe? With all the guardrails, that means mid rail and top rails, and the toe boards with an entry and exit provision, the platform is perfect now. Thus, we complete the required terminology for every component to make a safe scaffold. It is so clear what are the components required, what are the names, where it comes, everything. It is so simple to understand. Now, to avoid a person falling out of the platform, we forgot to provide a drop bar. That will be guarding the person from falling out. This drop bar is fixed using a double coupler. Now, how is it? You assess yourself. Once the terminology is over, we can go to next session of joining pipes. We are required to join pipes quite often. There are various methods for this. One is to use a butt joint or a lap joint otherwise. Then again, there are joint pins. You can insert the pipes from both the sides and tighten the middle. This will be very good joint. Again, there is sleeve coupler joints. You can use sleeve coupler also. This makes perfect joints. Scaffold tubes, how will you give a specification? Tubes should satisfy British Standards 1139 or IS 2750 1963. These tubes will be 4 mm thick and 4.37 kg per running meter. Specification for tubes for using in scaffolding. There are 2 types of tubes that is in common use. One is black steel tubes and second one is galvanized steel. There is a question. You might have seen aluminium scaffolds also. Aluminium is also used but not in tube and coupler system. Black steel and galvanized steel tubes have the same dimensions. Dimensions of tubes. Outside diameter will be 48.3 millimeters, nominal wall thickness 4 millimeters, weight approximately 4.4 kg per meter. About aluminium. Aluminium is also used but not for tube and coupler. It has same outside diameter as steel tubes but slightly thicker and light in weight. Aluminium is not strong like steel and not used for medium and heavy duty scaffolds. That means aluminium tubing is reused only for light duty scaffolds. Shortly, you will be learning about what is light duty, medium duty, heavy duty, etc. Tubes come in lengths of 6 meters and less. We can use the same tube anywhere in a scaffold, and depending upon its position in the scaffold, we call it by different names. There can be 1.5 meters, 2 meters, 2.5 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters, or even 6 meters length tubes. Normally, tubes are obtained in these sizes. Any one of these tubes can be used as a standard, ledger, transom, bracing, guardrail, or even as a false upright. Here, you can just check the terminology whether you remember everything or not. Come on, let us start with sole board, base plate, standard, ledger, transom, double coupler, swivel coupler, transverse bracing, longitudinal bracing, boards, platform, toe board, ladder clamp, 90 centimeters minimum required, that is the extension required for the ladder from the landing. 95 centimeters to 115 centimeters, that's the guardrail distance from the platform to the top. False upright, drop bar, mid rail, ladder, then kicker lift. Few points to remember here. A reminder: bearer always on top of runner. Kicker lift at 15 centimeters to start with from the ground. Lift height always less than 2 meters. Inclined ladders at 75 degrees to the horizontal. And lengthy ladders secured at 3 places. If you have these points with you, you have already mastered the art of scaffolding. Then practice. Practice can make you perfect. More points to reminder. It is the runner that primarily holds the load of the platform and not the transoms. When transoms are coupled to the runners, they are placed as close to the standard as possible. Transoms can be coupled either directly to the standard or onto the runner. A tower scaffold. It has a kicker lift, first lift, a platform lift, or second lift. Now, this is the simplest scaffold. As you extend the number of spans, it will be having a different name. We have an independent scaffold here. Like this, there are very many different names and types of scaffolds. Now, having gone through the video, try to answer a few questions if you please. First one is a picture of a scaffold. You call out the names of each part of the scaffold. Score yourself 2 marks for each correct answer. Correct answers for subsequent questions carry 1 mark only each. Consider yourself passed if your score is above 20. Before you run, please subscribe. Thank you for your time in watching.